Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Races in World of Warcraft has various racial bonuses, and one aspect of those racial bonuses are bonuses to professions. The bonuses to professions were actually nerfed when Dragonflight came, because the bonuses used to be up to plus 15 skill, and now the general bonus is plus 5 skill, with Kultiran being plus 2 and then Draktyr being plus 2% perception for gathering professions. And many people are like, okay, now they're nerfing these, but actually if they hadn't nerfed the number, these bonuses would be totally overwhelming, and even in this state, these bonuses, some of them at least, are actually really good. Let's take a bit of a deeper look into racial profession bonuses and whether you should roll a specific race if you intend to play with a specific profession, and how much does it matter exactly. The bonuses available for Alliance: there's blacksmithing bonuses from Darkarndorf and Lightforged Draenei, there's jewel crafting bonuses from Draenei, there's engineering bonuses from Gnomes, skinning bonuses from Worgen, and Kultiran have smaller bonus plus 2 to all professions. Whereas for Horde, Goblin has alchemy, Blood Elf has enchanting, Tauren has herbalism, Nightborn has inscription, and High Mountain Tauren have mining. And then there's Draktyr available for both sides, which has plus 2% perception for gathering professions. And when it comes to those gathering skills, Horde has herbalism plus 5, Horde has mining plus 5. That makes hardly any difference, because gathering professions, they are not actually very clear from in-game how they work. When you reach a threshold that you need in order to collect herb or at highest quality, that means that you're starting to collect some of that at highest quality. But actually, the amount of variance is so large that, for example, for Draconium ore, you can never ensure that you will get all maximum quality Draconium ore. And also, the racial bonus does very little to change that. That plus 5 skill gives you approximately 1 percentage point more rank 3 Draconium ore compared to rank 2 Draconium ore. In fact, the most useful gathering profession bonus is the Draktyr plus 2% perception, because that just gives you more rousings, and rousings, the essences of Dragonflight, those are pretty much the most valuable thing that you can gather anyway, so that's just direct income. For crafting professions, the racial bonuses are generally more useful. However, there are 3 considerations to think about. First of all, can you get over a guaranteed threshold with the racial bonus that you can't without? And second, there's actually a hidden skill increase that not all people are aware of with each craft, so you're actually crafting at slightly higher skill than what the numbers say on the screen. And that can affect how often you can craft max rank things, and that can be significantly affected by the bonus once you're otherwise already maxed. And the third consideration is material cost, whether you're crafting with rank 2 mats with inspiration or rank 3 mats trying to get guaranteed max rank equipment that can make a difference. Let's take a look at all of these considerations. First of all, the ability to get over specific thresholds. For example, inscription, crafting a kinetic pillar of the Isles with rank 3 mats, with rank 3 missive, with rank 3 embellishment, with item 405 power infusion results in a craft of 370 difficulty. When you're fully maxed in inscription and fully maxed in everything that's related to crafting staves, then you will have 367 max skill, so you're 3 points short. However, if you're Nightborn and you get plus 5 inscription, boom, you have 372 skill, and you can craft this, no RNG involved. That's a pretty clear-cut case where there is a use case for being Nightborn, for being a scribe. But then there's the hidden skill bonus. If you're not familiar with the hidden skill bonus, this has officially been confirmed by Blizzard, because when you're crafting something by hand, there's always a little bit of some variance, and they wanted to simulate that with this. But they didn't tell us how much skill is actually given. Community has studied this matter, and each craft seems to roll randomly, and it's going to be higher skill than your base skill, or the minimum skill at least is your base skill. So whenever you do a craft, you craft at your base skill, or a skill that is between 0 and 4 or 5 percentage points of the recipe difficulty. So you can get 14 points or more just from this random roll. Even if you're missing 14 points from being able to craft max rank, you might be able to get those without an inspiration proc. This proc is not shown anywhere in the interface. And people have also been trying to study this by increasing their skill 1 point at a time and then crafting a bunch of stuff and seeing, okay, how many of these turned out to be higher rank and how many lower rank. And it looks like a single point when you're very close to the next rank can give you as much as 5 percentage points more full rank gear than you would get with 1 point lower. Remember, you're still below the threshold in these cases. So something like 5 skill points can mean 25 percentage points more higher rank gear when you're very close to the max rank. So another example from jewel crafting. When you're jewel crafting, it's really good to be a Draenei. Because, for example, Illimited Diamonds have a difficulty of 375, maximum skill that you can get is 361, but Draenei can get a maximum skill of 366. And because you cannot recraft diamonds, that means that Draenei, using max rank mats, can just make many more full rank diamonds than any other race can. Or even when you're crafting lariats. If you're crafting lariats on that 405 item level, the difficulty is going to be 360, and the maximum skill that you can get is going to be 351, but for a Draenei, the maximum skill is going to be 356. And for a Draenei, actually, the majority of lariats would then turn out to be 405s, even without inspiration procs. However, there is more to that tale, because these tales relied on rank 3 mats, and here we come to the matter of cost difference between rank 3 mats and rank 2 mats. So it might be preferable to craft with rank 2 mats, rely on getting an inspiration proc, rather than get a guaranteed max rank item using rank 3 mats, because let's say you have like 40% inspiration, then it takes on average 2.5 tries to get a max rank. And if materials for rank 3 are sufficiently more expensive than rank 2s, then it's easier to just do it with the inscription, or at least cheaper. It's actually always easier to do it with those rank 3 mats and getting the guaranteed. So how to summarize all of these findings? If you're doing gathering professions and, well, you're Horde, then Tauren, High Mountain Tauren doesn't really matter. That skill just doesn't matter too much. Drag tier can always be useful, not strictly mandatory, but always useful. If you're doing crafting professions, then there are always going to be cases in all crafting professions where having that racial skill advantage is good. And in particular, that is shown in jewel crafting, because jewels cannot be recrafted, which means that the Draenei +5 skill is just really strong there. And there are also cases like in inscription, where you can get over a specific threshold thanks to being Nightborn instead of being below them. So yeah, I do expect that as the expansion goes on, the advantage of having the racial bonus is going to increase, because expectedly the material price difference between rank 3 and rank 2 mats is going to drop, because more people are just going to churn out rank 3 mats. And that means that if you're planning it, if you're really planning for these things, yeah, do aim to use these races for these professions. But on the other hand, if you didn't happen to do that, you already had a character, that character has a long history with the profession, it's not the end of the world if you're not one of these. But definitely, it does help. And in fact, the racial profession bonus is more significant in Dragonflight than it has ever been before in history of World of Warcraft. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.